Hi, and welcome back to the part 6 in our BPT journey. So today we're going to focus on automatic activities. Okay, so let's drag and drop an automatic activity next to the human activity that we set in the previous video. Okay, and in order to use this, we just need to finish this one because this is going to run automatically. So this will be in the next activity and he will run without any user intervention. And what we need to do here is just a piece of logic that we want to add in our flow. Okay, so we can click twice. And when we do this, we have the server action or the code that will run in the background when this automatic activity is triggered. Okay, so in here, this is just a simple server action. You can do whatever you want. But a real case that we can do here is to create a static entity. Okay, so let's say status, and we can create two status here. So active, and let's call inactive, and we can set the student with this foreign key, so status ID, and when I reach this and trigger this activity, so we set the employee as active. This is the real case that we do often in the project, in the automatic activities. We can update a record, okay? So in here we need to grab the update student, okay? And the ID is the one that we have here. Okay, it's the student. Sorry, let me just change this. This is not student. It's not employee, it's student. Also, let me change this just to not get any confusion. Also here. Okay. And here we have the update student. We have the student ID. If that's the one that we want to update. The name it will be the same. Okay. We can also, in order to make this faster, we can just drag and drop the student. We set the max record as 1 because we just want to retrieve 1. That's the one that we have in our process. And we set the student ID equal to the student ID from the process. Okay. So after this, we just need to set by the current that we'll have here, just 1, as we have set here. And we just need to update the status. So we can go here and grab from the aggregate the status ID, and we can change to active. Okay, so status ID, it will be equal to active. Okay, so this will work as expected. Okay, and let's try it. Okay, so now it's published. Let's open the process that we already have here. So it's the launch process, launch employee process. This is done on the previous videos. Okay, you just need to watch them and do the same. So let's open the browser. Okay, so now let's launch the process. So we have the process launched, and let's check also here in the service center. Okay, so now we have a new one, so the 946. So we created these right now, and it is unready, so it is ready on the set name. Okay, and now we're going to close, and immediately when we close the activity, he will run the status. Okay, so let's do that. So let's close, and let's go back here to the process. Oh, something went wrong here. So let's see. So here we can also check the errors on the process, and we can open them and try to figure it out what is happening. So error is causing query with key 0 was not updated. So I think something is not correct in our query. We retrieved these. So let me go back here. This happens sometimes. And let's see. So we have the student ID. Okay. We should have student ID. Why we don't have? That's weird. So we have the student ID. The student ID is not, it's not correct. So we can do debug. Let's debug this. Okay, so what we can do in order to debug, we can add a callback action, and we get process start, and let's see what it is get on the student ID. Maybe this is empty, but it makes no sense. But let's try that. Okay, so let's debug. This is often when it happens, so you need to debug, so it's okay. We're not going to have every time this working as expected. Let me try. Okay, so what happens in the process is when it fails, when it gives an error, it tries sometimes after that. So as you can see, the student ID is probability this is 0. Okay, this is not okay. Right now I'm not sure why it is empty, but I guess I don't know. I know why. It's because we are launching the process. That's because we are launching the process by using this and not by using the launch on. That's different. When when you use the launch on, we're going to have this, the student ID. Okay, that's why it's not working. Okay, so this was good. So we know we encounter an error, and we can walk through this and try to fix it. One thing that I usually do in the process is, as you can see, now we have an error in this process, but I don't like this to have a warning, because he's going to retry several times, and I don't know, maybe 5 minutes later and so on, and this is not good for the environment, and I just want to end this. So we can open this on a new tab, and we can suspend the execution and terminate the execution. So when we do this, we're going to terminate the process. Okay, So he will no longer will not try to run the error or that activity. Okay, so as you can see, it is terminated. Okay, this is just a way to fix things because it's not supposed to have errors on the process. But just keep in mind is that you can do this. Okay. Okay, so one way to fix this, uh, as we understood, we don't have the student ID because we are using the launch process. One way is when we set this, when we are on this activity, the set name, we can create the the student record because right now it's not created. Okay. Maybe to not get you confused, let me remove this. Okay. Let me just add something here just to not have the warning because he's asking to set the detail. This is for the task box. I'll cover that in the next videos, but it's not important now. Okay. So let's go back here. So when we close this, we want to create the student, and by creating the student, after that we can update it. We can update him. So when you go here, let's add on close. So on close is just an action that will run when we close the activity. That's everything that happens. Okay. So we close the activity and after that we set the on close. Something will run afterwards. Okay. So let's create the records. So let's create here the student and let's set the source. So in here we have the name. Let's set Pedro, grade 78, age 31, and status ID it's not we're not going to set. It will be null. Okay. So after that we're going to have the student. It will be the output, but if you go here in that automatic activity, we do not have access to that student ID. Okay, we can go here in the filter and try to get it, but we don't have it. We don't have that. Okay, we have the in the set name, which is the activity that we have previously. We have the activity ID, closed by, closed instance, the activity ID, and the process ID. No. The activity ID, sorry, this is other things, not here. So activity ID closed by closed instance. So we do not have the student ID, but that's what we need. Okay, so let's go back here, and what we can do is just add output parameter. Okay, output parameter will be the student ID. Okay, so in the output after create student, we set the output and the student ID that we created. And here we go to the filter and change the student ID, but now we have the student ID. So the difference between this and this is runtime. These three are runtime values that the activity give to us. And this activity and process ID, this is regarding the process. So we have the activity ID, and that is the current in the process, and also the process ID. Okay, but in here we need the output from here, which is the student ID. So after this it will work. Let me just understand what is the error here. So the close set name, oh okay, so the close set name we need now to give him the the student ID. So but in this case we do not have anything to give him. So we're going to create the student ID in here. Okay, you have two ways, or to create in the process or to create in the server action that will going to close the the activity. In this case, I want to do it inside the process. So in here, I do not have anything to give him. So I'm gonna send as null identifier. So let's publish. Okay, so let's go back to the to our screen. So let's again launch the process. Let's do it again. Let's see if we have this. Let's filter. So we have the 950. It is in the set name. So let's close the activity. Let's see if it worked. Okay, so now it worked. So we have our student active. It is closed now, and it is on the end, which is closed as well. Okay, so let's see our database. Okay, so we have the student ID 9, Pedro 31, 78, and active on the status ID. So this is one thing that you can do. We can do a lot of things in the automatic activity and inside the process server actions, but it depends what you need to do. It depends on the application, it depends on demands, criteria on your project. But keep in mind that you can do this, so the sky is the limit here. So please subscribe to the channel. This is I think this is going to be helpful to you. And don't lose the next series, the next videos, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.